Hello everyone, welcome to the channel TutorBox. In today's class I am going to discuss about another lecture of pharmacovigilance, and this is the lecture from unit 5 of pharmacovigilance, and today we are going to discuss about CIOMS, okay, CIOMS. So in this section, two chapter allotted to the CIOMS, means first one is CIOMS working group and second one is CIOMS forms, okay. So in earlier lecture I already discussed about unit 4 lecture, and so just check the playlist of pharmacovigilance lectures and go through with the all lecture which you are needed. As well as you all know that at the end of lecture we have a 5 MCQ to solve these 5 MCQ and give the answer in comment box, as well as see the description box for the notes of this lecture. So the question raised in our mind that what is basically a CIOMS, man, what is the full form of the CIOMS? The first question raised in our mind. So the full form of CIOMS is what? It is a Council for International Organization of Medical Sciences. I am again repeating, Council for International Organization of Medical Sciences. So the second thing raised in our mind, from where the concept originated and what is the history of CIOMS. Basically, it is a non-profit organization and it is not related with any of the government agency in whole world, but it gives its advice to affiliated organization like WHO, UNESCO and other organization. So first we have to go through with the history of this organization. So initially what happened in 1948? In 1948, WHO and UNESCO thought about this organization, and they started that they have to organize some seminar conferences about the health policies, health issue, as well as new drug development and other regulatory thoughts. So initially they started by this thought, but later on they changed their mindset and changed their focus on other things as well. So initially they are giving the grants as well, but they stop the grant and then further they concentrate on other points as well. So first we are looking on the history. So the first, if in 1949 what happened, the council constituted by WHO and UNESCO at Brussels. So WHO and UNESCO, some scientists come with the thought that they have to make a council, and the WHO and UNESCO met at the Brussels and they formally constituted the council in 1949. Then in 1952 what happened? The present name of CIOMS, CIOMS, adopted. Clear? So initially in 1949 the name was not CIOMS, but this name was originated in 1952. So the examiner may ask the question, when CIOMS name is adopted? So answer is 1952. Then what happened in 1959? In Vienna meeting of controlled clinical trial, at the Vienna scientific group meet and they finally decided that they have to make some guideline related to the controlled clinical trials. Then again they made the guideline and then they circulated the things. Then further what happened in 1977? The launch of ethics of research involving human. So finally they come up with the ethical guideline that whenever the research is started on the human, what kind of ethics should be followed in the clinical trials. Clear? Then in 1982, adoption by UN, United Nations, of CIOMS medical ethics for prisoners. So in 1982 UN, United Nations, adopted the CIOMS medical ethics for the prisoners. Clear everyone? So जो जेल में रहने वाले थे उन लोगों के लिए जो है सायोम्स की जो इथिक्स है उनको अडॉप्ट किया गया यूनाइटेड नेशन ने. देन इन 1986 कंसेंसस फॉर्म to work on the pharmacovigilance. Finally they reached on the pharmacovigilance in 1986 and they started thinking about that they have to do work regarding the pharmacovigilance, about the drug safety and efficacy. Then in 1993 they start of CIOMS focus on the pharmacovigilance and ADR reporting. Finally they also reach on the ADR reporting in the 1993, and then in 2005 formation of 6 working group for pharmacovigilance. So they form the CIOMS working group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 for especially focusing on the pharmacovigilance. In 2016, new Science ethical guideline for health related research involving human. So again they updated their guideline in 2016, and these guidelines are circulated to various organizations like ICH, WHO, UNESCO, and various other country organization which are related with the drug discovery process and health policy formation process. Okay, so this is the little bit about the history of Sioms. Now just look at what is the purpose of Sioms. Okay, so the purpose of Sioms is basically the exchange of view and scientific thoughts among the scientific community. Clear? So they want, what they want to do, वो अपने आइडिया को एक्सचेंज करना चाहते थे, उन किस तरह की इथिकल जो है गाइडलाइन फॉलो करनी चाहिए, वो साइंटिफिक जो भी कम्युनिटी थी उनके बीच में अलग अलग कंट्री के अंदर अलग अलग प्रॉब्लम आ सकती है, तो सभी कंट्री के साइंटिस्ट मिलकर एक ऐसी गाइडलाइन बनाए जो सभी कंट्रीज में फॉलो हो सके। इसके लिए ही उन्होंने, यही उसका पर्पस था साइंस का। सो व्हाट बेसिकली हैपेंड, द exchange of view and scientific information in the medical sciences by securing continuity between international organization of medical sciences। क्लियर कि यहाँ पर क्या होगा कि मेडिकल साइंसेज में जो साइंटिफिक इंफॉर्मेशन जो एक्सचेंज होगी उससे क्या होगा, जो भी कंटिन्यूटी बनी रहेगी किसके बीच में, इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑफ मेडिकल साइंसेज, बाय मेकिंग देयर वर्क नोन एंड बाय प्रोवाइडिंग द मटेरियल to them. Clear? So this was the purpose basically, and this purpose was fulfilled by them. Then if you are looking on the role and function of science, what are the role and function of the science? So initially I already told you that the role and function was to organize seminars, symposia, conferences, grant for the young researchers. So initially they are giving the grant for young researchers to participate in the seminars, symposia and conferences, but they later on they stopped these things, and finally they decided they have to do some different work. Why they thought such kind of thing? Because there are lot of organizations which are already organizing seminars, symposia and grants kind of thing. So they thought that this is the replication of the work. That's why they thought that they have to focus on other issues. Now what are the other issues which are not focused by other organization? So some other issue are like bioethics was the important issue, because whenever the clinical trial are going on the humans, at that time bioethics are very important, means how to perform the trials. So they made some guideline related to the bioethics. Then they have to focus on the health policy, how to form the policy which could be useful for each and every country like European Union, Canada and America. Okay, then ethics and human value. So they made the guideline related to the ethics and human value, as well as they also developed the drug development and its use policies. Okay, so policy formation for the drug development and use was the another function and role of science. And then further they started to work on the international nomenclature of the disease. Clear? So this is the another important part of their role and function. Clear everyone? Now just look on the SIOMS governance. What is the governing body of SIOMS? Okay, so we can divide it into three parts: executive committee, general assembly, secretariat, and we can also cover collaborations in the governance, because the governing body is doing the collaboration. So this is the one work, but we are covering as a collaboration. So the first one is executive committee. In executive committee, who are the member? The member is president, okay, and vice president, then secretary plus 12 members. So 12 these members are national and international member. So this is the part of executive committee. Then if you are looking on the general assembly, so who are forming the general assembly? So in the general assembly we have a national and international organization. So for both of these we have almost 12 members. Then
associate members. So almost 19 associate members we have in the SIOMs. Then they are doing meeting in every 2 years, clear. And in between of 2 year, the alternate year they are doing meeting through webinars and like that manners, clear. Then if you are looking on the secretariat, so what is the function of secretariat? So the function of secretariat is day-to-day management of statute and direction of executive committee. Whatever the direction given by the executive committee, the secretariat will work upon this, clear. And there is a secretary general who is looking after all these work, and the SIOM's headquarters is situated in the Geneva, Switzerland. Then from which organization they are doing collaboration? So they have collaboration with WHO, ICH, IFPMA, PAHO and AMRO. Okay, so from all of these organizations they have a collaboration. So this is particularly about the governance. I am just showing you the national and international members list as well as associate members list, because sometime question may ask in the competitive examination who are the associate member of SIOMs and who are the international or national member of SIOMs. So just look at the national international members list. Clear everyone?
Hello everyone, now look at the SIOM's members. So I am giving you this list. This is an updated list till April 2022, and these are various members, international members. Just look at here: World Allergy Organization, International College of Angiology, International Society of Internal Medicine, International Federation of Otorhinolaryngological Societies, World Association of Society of Pathology and Laboratory Medicine, International Rhinological Society, Medical Women International Association, World Medical Association, International Society of Pharmacoepidemiology, International Society of Pharmacovigilance, International Union of Basic and Clinical Pharmacology, IUPHAR, and International Federation of Association of Pharmaceutical Physician and Pharmaceutical Medicine. So all of these are the international member. Now just look on the national members. So national member we have a Bangladesh Medical Research Council, Royal Academy of Medicine of Belgium, Czech Medical Association, Association of Scientific Medical Society in Germany, Georgian Society of Pharmacology, Indian Council of Medical Research, Israel Academy of Science and Humanity, Korean Academy of Medical Sciences, South African Medical Research Council, and Swiss Academy of Medical Sciences. So these are the national members till date. Now there are various associate members. So in associate member we have a Medical Science Society, MSS UQ of Queensland University, then Consulta di Bioetica, American Society of Bioethics and Humanity, European Association of Hospital Pharmacists, World Federation of Chiropractic, then International Federation of Clinical Chemistry and Laboratory Medicine, Good Clinical Practice Alliances, then World Organization of Family Doctors, then International Society for Hepatic Encephalopathy and Nitrogen Metabolism. Further we have a International Council of Laboratory Animal Sciences, then we have a World Association of Medical Law, and another associate member is Asia Pacific Academy of Ophthalmology. Further we have a International Union of Physiological Sciences and Federation of Polish Medical Organization abroad. Clear? Then we have a National Fund for Scientific Research and International Medical Science Academy, as well as we also have a International Federation of Medical Student Association, and the last one is Saudi Neonatology Society. These are the associate member. There may be a possibility further they may increase the members list.
Now just look on the our main title topic, that is SIOM's working group. So first we must understand what is the need of SIOM's working group. So the need of the working group is what? Basically the agenda which set by the SIOMs, to complete that agenda, to complete their role and their function, like on work on bioethics, like work on health policy, health management and pharmacovigilance and drug safety, drug discovery process, as well as international classification of disease. So there are a lot of function and role decided by the SIOMs committee. To work upon this, they have decided to do this work by a working group. That's why they created the working group. Clear? So they created lot of working group from their origination to till date. So almost more than 12 to 15 working group, and all of these working group are doing a different work, and they publish their agenda. However, whatever the agenda and whatever the guideline they publish, it is not mandatory for any organization to follow these guidelines, but these guidelines will help to other regulatory bodies and other organizations to make their own guideline with the help of these SIOMS working group. So the people from pharmaceutical industry, people from regulatory authorities, and people from academia join in the SIOMS working group, and from different scientific streams they selected the people and they make the working group. Clear? So the first SIOMS group, SIOMS first, was worked upon international reporting on ADR. So they started the work how to report on the ADR, so they make the guideline related with this international reporting of the adverse drug reaction. Then SIOMS group number second, it is related with the international reporting of periodic drug safety update summary. It is basically about the periodic drug safety update. Okay, so they give how to report the periodic safety, and they give the guideline about the evaluation and about the ethics to collect the data. Then in the third group it is about the guideline for preparing core clinical safety information of the drug. So in this they have decided to work upon the clinical safety of the new drugs, and they prepared the guideline for this one. And in the SIOMS 4 working group, it is about the benefit risk balance of marketed drug. Whatever the drug which are marketed by the company, so they evaluated the what is the benefit and what is the risk and what is the risk benefit ratio of these drugs, and they give the guideline about the risk benefit ratio of these drugs and which drug should be more useful, and like such kind of parameter they have given about that. Then the SIOMS group 5, it discuss about the current challenges of pharmacovigilance, about the pragmatic approaches. Clear? So what is the need of pharmacovigilance and what are the challenges with the pharmacovigilance, they discuss upon this. Then there is another group that is SIOMS working group on SMQ, and this working group has completed its work on the development and rational use of standardized MET-DRA queries. So I already given a lecture on MET-DRA queries. So these queries are raised by these group, and they discuss upon various queries, and they highlighted the queries and they give the solution about these queries. These queries and their solution are adopted by the MET-DRA series. Then SIOMS group number 6, it is about the management of safety information of the clinical trial. How to manage about the safety of clinical trial. So they give the idea about the management whenever any safety issue occur in the clinical trial. So that's why these SIOMS 6 working group guidelines are important, and they publish these guidelines, and the trials authority and the various organizations from the US and European country as well as Japan and Canada, they adopted their suggestion in their guideline. Then group number 7 is about the DSUR. Okay, so development safety update reports of harmonization. They harmonize the format and the content of DSUR. We already discussed about the DSUR, PSUR. Clear? So you may have an idea about the DSUR and PSUR. Then in SIOMS working group 8, there is a practical aspect of signal detection in the pharmacovigilance. So they give the guideline, they give the suggestion about how to detect the signal and how to reach and act upon the signal detection in the pharmacovigilance. Then there is a group number 9. In the group number 9, they give the practical approaches of risk minimization for medicinal product. So in this working group gave the suggestion about how to minimize the risk of the medicinal product, and such kind of guidelines are adopted by various other organizations as well. And in this working group 9, they give the detail about the evidence synthesis and meta-analysis of the drug safety. So this is about the group number 10, and then further we have a group number 11. So group number 11 gave the guideline about the patient involvement in the development of and safe use of medicine in humans. So they give the brief idea about the how patient is involved in the development of the drug and its safe use. Clear. Then further we have other groups, SIOMS working group on vaccine safety as well as SIOMS working group on liver injury due to drug induced. So both of these currently are in the working. So they haven't published their guideline or their result till date. There are so many working groups in the SIOMS, and these working group giving the guidelines and giving their suggestion, which are not necessary to be adopted by any of the organization, but most of the organization was their suggestions as well as see their suggestions, and they discuss their suggestion and they try to update their guideline with their suggestions. That's why this SIOMS working group guidelines are helpful, because the people from the working group of SIOMS are having a various specialization and they are a specialist in their field. That's why they are expert in their field. That's why people from other organization and other country give the weightage to their guideline. Clear everyone? So I hope you people are able to understand about the SIOMS working group. So just remember their members, their governance. So in governance you just understand the members. So there may be a changes in the number of members because day by day members are increasing. So there may be possibility that there is an increase in the number of the members. Clear everyone? So I hope you people are able to understand whole about the SIOMS working group, what is SIOMS, and here I discuss some MCQ with you guys about the SIOMS. So solve these MCQ and give the answer in the comment box, as well as see the description box for the notes of this lecture. And if you think this lecture is useful, then share this lecture to each and everyone. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind.